Welp, YouTube keeps auto-copyright claiming this video, so it's time for my copyright block sign to come back. As usual, I'll have the version I wanted to upload for free on my Patreon, link in the description below. Thanks for making this a pain, YouTube. Really appreciate it. Sinners is about two gangsters who go back to their hometown and start a club. Things seem to be going pretty well until a group of vampires show up. This got nominated for 16 Oscars, which broke the record for most nominations. So apparently, according to the Academy, this is the best movie ever made. It starts off with a narration about how some music is so good it can conjure spirits both good and evil from the past and future. The best movie ever made, according to the Academy, is set in Clarksdale, Mississippi in 1932, where Sammy, the preacher's son, walks into a church covered in blood and holding a broken guitar. The day before, he was working in a cotton field because of symbolism, and his cousins Smoke, played by Michael B. Jordan, and Stack, also played by Michael B. Jordan, just got into town from Chicago. You can tell because Stack's shadow is noticeably longer than the cars and the other two guys' shadows. Best movie ever made, can't even CGI a shadow. Anyway, they buy this building and acreage from Hogwood.
And if we see you or any one of your clan buddies, we gonna kill him right where they staying.
Because that won't be used much later. Meanwhile, Sammy's dad is mad that Sammy wants to play music for a party.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day it's gonna follow you home.
Yay, foreshadowing. I guess Smoke and Stack were gangsters in Chicago and used to terrorize Clarksdale before they moved up there, so the townspeople are supposed to be scared of them. In town, Smoke hires a girl to watch his car while he gets party supplies from a family friend. But the girl honks the car horn because people are stealing from Smoke's truck. So Smoke shoots one of them to get their attention and shoots the other one just to be a dick. No one cares that he shot two people in the street? No? Okay. Meanwhile, Sammy and Stack are driving to the mill, and I guess Sammy's really good at singing and playing guitar, so that's something for later. I guess they were going to the train station to offer some guy named Delta Slim a job, but he says no because he has a steadier job. But because this movie needs him to be a main character, Stack convinces this alcoholic with a beer and $40. Important character doesn't want to do something then gets convinced to do it. Nice trope. Best movie ever made, by the way. Then Stack runs into his old love interest named Mary, but she just gets mad at him and leaves. Meanwhile, Smoke goes to visit his child's grave and his, I think, ex-wife. She does magic stuff to keep people protected, so I'm just gonna call her Voodoo Lady because I don't know her name. Everyone's getting ready for the party as the sun goes down, and somewhere in the middle of nowhere, this character named Remnick goes to this secluded house with nothing around it. He asks to be let in and sees they have, so YouTube doesn't freak out, I'm just gonna say ghost costumes, and says some Indians robbed him. So they let him in, and sometime later these people show up looking for Remick, but they're just sent away. Turns out Remick is a vampire, and the Indians were vampire hunters. Wait, if Remick is a vampire, that means being in sunlight will kill him, and they show later that it is very quick. When he got to the house, the sun was still up high enough that nothing was blocking it. I mean, there was some light cloud cover, but not enough to block the sun's rays. Yeah, he was smoking, so maybe the cloud cover and it being dusk helped? But it's implied he's been running for a while, and earlier in the day, it was sunny out with barely any clouds. And this house can't be more than 20 miles from town considering the time period. But there is nothing around this house for miles, so it's not like he was hiding all day and just flew over here when the sun wasn't as bad. He would have had to been running from the vampire hunters during the day when the sun was out. How is he still alive? What's your explanation for this? Best movie ever made? Anyway, Remnick's a vampire and turns these two. Well, Smoke and Stack got their club going. This guy pays for his drink partially with some store credits, which pisses Smoke off because it's not real money. But from what they showed earlier, this is pretty common. I don't know why Smoke is so mad other than the fact he's an asshole. Stack's love interest from earlier shows up to the party, and Stack tries to kick her out. Can't imagine why. But they have some romantic conversation I don't care about, and she stays anyway because the best movie ever made needs her for later. Now it's Sammy's turn to play music for the crowd, and he's really good and everyone's enjoying the music. He's so good in fact that it gives him special powers to conjure spirits for the past and future to play and dance with him. And while Sammy and the party guests can't see or hear them, Remnick can because he's a vampire and it drew him to the party. I'm not kidding. This is the official explanation of what this scene is. Which is fine if you want to make this part of your lore, but this is an actual plot point in the best movie ever made. Holy shit. So Remnick and his vampire friends go to the party wanting in. To show their honest intent, they play some folk song but get turned away. I can't imagine why. Mary figures Remnick's group might spend a lot of money, so she convinces Stack to let her go out and see what their real intentions are. And well, they show her. Mary goes back to the party and the bouncer lets her in. Then the bouncer goes off to pee and Remnick's group attacks him while he's peeing. These assholes couldn't even wait until he was done. What the hell? Back at the party, Sammy goes looking for Stack and sees him and Mary, doing stuff. But I don't think it's the stuff they thought.
Is that what it looks like? We're gonna kill every last one of you.
Wait, what the hell? Where the fuck is she going? She was in! She got invited in and could have used that. They established that anyone can invite the vampires in. It doesn't have to be the owners by allowing the bouncer to let Mary in. How about instead of killing Stack, revealing herself, then running out like a dipshit, she could have went back to the party, got invited in, and had Remnick's group come back to the door and have her say she vetted them, they're good, and invite them in. Or convince the bouncer to let them in. Especially because that's what she was sent outside to do. It shows later that Remnick controls and has memories of his vampires. He knows why Mary went outside. Why the fuck would he not use her original plan to get in and kill everyone? This is the best movie ever made. This movie is stupid. But Mary does this dumbass plan, Stack dies, and now the party's over. So everyone leaves except for the 7 main characters. 7. Just keep that in mind for later. The bouncer comes back, but no one wants to let him in. So he starts insulting everyone because that's gonna make them want to let him in and tries to bite Smoke. Oh good, Stack's awake after dying and wants out of the room. So he breaks down the door, gets splashed with garlic juice, and runs out. What is with every vampire who gets in running outside? Why am I questioning the best movie ever made? Everyone inside starts making wood stakes and garlic cloves, but if they were smart, they would just have to stay in the building until morning.
Promise me right now that you'll free me before I turn. You understand?
Hey, look away.
What was with that weird editing? This really is the best movie ever made. Oh crap, they found a dead body, but no one knows who killed him or when. So they throw the body outside and hear the vampires singing some Irish song. So there's this scene of all the vampires singing and dancing to this Irish shanty. Did Remnick turn all these people into vampires because he was bored and wanted a band? That's kind of funny. The survivor group is in a circle eating garlic cloves to prove they're not vampires. But Garlic Girl here doesn't want to because she doesn't like garlic. So Smoke is about to shoot her until she eats it. But none of them are vampires, and it turns out what they saw wasn't blood but spilled wine. And they threw a drunk person who had passed out outside. Okay, see, that is actually pretty funny.
Hey, Smoke, let me in, man. I know you hear me.
Now they're just being assholes. Anyway, Remick and Bar Lady's husband come up and try to convince her to let them in, or they're gonna go turn her daughter, who I forgot is still at their store. So Bar Lady is really pissed now. This movie is just from dusk till dawn with music and racism. And everyone else comes to plead their case.
You built something here tonight that it was built on a lie. Hogwood.
Who the hell is Hogwood? Oh yeah, the guy who sold them the mill and who I completely forgot existed.
He's the grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. They was always gonna kill you. I just happened to show up at the right place at the right time.
So Remick wants to turn everyone into vampires to be a happy family and get along. You know, this was a half-decent movie until all the vampire shit. But this is the best movie ever made, so what do I know? Bar Lady's still pissed, so this absolute moron yells for the vampires to come in because she thinks she can kill them.
Come on in, you motherfucker!
How you doing?
They're coming in. We gotta get ready. Come on.
Alright. From the time everyone left to just now, including when they were eating garlic to see who was the vampire, there were only 7 people in the building. But now there's 9? I know the 2 additional people are just there for cannon fodder, but where were they before? The garlic test was so important that Smoke was going to kill someone for not wanting to eat a clove. So either these 2 people opted out and everyone else was just fine with it, which doesn't make sense, or they weren't there for it and no one questioned where they came from when they randomly showed up, which doesn't make sense. The best movie ever made can't even keep track of how many people are in the goddamn building. Whatever, the 2 cannon fodder guys die and Bar Lady dies. Oh no, Voodoo Lady got bit, and to keep his promise from earlier, Smoke kills her so she doesn't turn. Everyone runs upstairs except for Slim, who cuts his wrist to distract the vampires? What the f is he doing? Really? But Remick and Stack are upstairs, so that was a waste. Sammy jumps out the window and Remick catches him, and instead of just biting this musician he wants so bad and is the entire reason he is here, he wastes a shitload of time hitting him and giving him a symbolic baptism while saying the Lord's Prayer. Come on, best movie ever made. Just have your villain bite him like he would actually do. Meanwhile, back in the barn, Smoke somehow is able to overpower his vampire brother because of some protection thing Voodoo Lady gave him. Back outside, this dumbass takes so long to bite Sammy that Sammy is able to take his guitar and smash Remick in the face with it. Oh, by the way, Silver hurts them. The fact that all the vampires can feel Remick's pain is really stupid. Best movie ever made. Okay.
We will make beautiful music together.
Just shut the f up and bite him. Oh my god. But Smoke stabs him before he can. Not that he was going to anyway. Then this 1300-year-old vampire, according to the director, can't keep track of time and gets immediately killed by the sun. Remember earlier when I said to get to the house, Remick would have had to flown in the daylight? Well, it didn't immediately start him on fire back then. Why did it immediately start him on fire now? Best movie ever made? Is it because of the steak? Because it's not because of the steak. Now we're back to the beginning, where Sammy, the preacher's son, walks into a church covered in blood and holding a broken guitar. Kind of took the suspense out of the entire movie when you know he's gonna survive. Because this movie isn't long enough, it turns out Hogwood, who I once again, after they mentioned him for the second time, forgot existed, really is a member of the clan. And they're gonna shoot up the club, but Smoke was expecting them? So there's this scene of him shooting all of them, while none of them can shoot Smoke, even though he's just walking out in the open. Why is this scene in this? It has nothing to do with anything else that happened in this movie, other than when Hogwarts sold them the mill. This is the best movie ever made, and I don't even know what's happening. What the f***? Oh no, he got shot. I don't care. Then he dies while having a vision of his wife and child because this is Gladiator now for some reason. 60 years later, Sammy is a famous blues player, and Stack and Mary are still alive because Smoke made them promise to leave Sammy alone if he let them go. But if Sammy is so good at music, he can conjure spirits and attract vampires and tours around the world for a living, how has he done this without more vampires showing up? Are Stack and Mary the only vampires left? Is Remick the only vampire interested in music? Are Stack and Mary protecting him by killing vampires that come to his shows? Like, what is this? Best movie ever made, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mind this movie, but it tries to do too much and can't decide what it wants to be. Is it a 1930s gangster movie? Is it a movie about racism and discrimination? Is it a vampire horror movie? It tries to do all three, but ends up being none, because they get in the way of each other. I feel it would have been better without the vampire storyline. I meant it when I said this was a half-decent movie until the vampire stuff. If they wanted the whole comeuppance scene, they should have focused more on Hogwood, because I kept forgetting he was a character. This is not the kind of movie that deserves 16 Oscar nominations. Do I think this is a terrible movie? No. And I will admit I was overly critical of it because it broke the record for the most Oscar nominations for a single movie. All my gripes would have been the same, but without the sarcastic best movie ever made comments. Even if you take out the best casting nomination, which is a new category this year, that's still 15 nominations, which is still more than All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land, which each got 14. For cinematography, I felt like a lot of the night scenes were too dark to see what was going on. The makeup and hairstyling was good, but not really Oscar worthy. The score and songs are great, those definitely deserve their nominations. The sound mixing and editing wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. And the directing wasn't bad. The cameras always seemed to be positioned properly, and none of the actors really seemed confused to what they were supposed to do, so I guess. The production design is alright. The small town and mill seem decent enough, but I just don't feel it's an Oscar-worthy design. The costume design is fantastic. All the characters look like they're from the 1930s, and the spirits from past and future look vastly different from the people who are really there, and you can tell roughly what era and culture they are supposed to be from. The film editing's not great. Some scenes feel like they stay on a certain camera angle for way too long, or bounce awkwardly when two characters are talking. You can argue that's a director thing, but there are also editing mistakes. Like a character starts one movement, then the camera changes and they are continuing a completely different movement, which makes it obvious it was two different takes spliced together. The screenplay is all over the place. Like I stated earlier, this tries to be 3 different movies but can't figure out which it wants to be. Characters, especially the vampires, make non-logical decisions that completely sabotage their main goal. And some characters just come out of nowhere, which it's the screenplay's job to make it clear what characters are in what scenes at certain times and make it consistent. The acting is great overall. Michael B. Jordan is fantastic as Smoke and Stack. He does a great job giving each character their own personality and being able to distinguish himself between the two. He definitely deserves his Oscar nomination. Delroy Lindo is really good as Delta Slim. I really like how he portrays Slim as an old alcoholic and is believable in any situation Slim is in. So I think he does deserve his Oscar nomination. Wunmi Masaku is okay as Annie. She's not terrible, but I feel like her character has this flat reaction to everything. Whether she's supposed to be mad, sad, or scared, she has this monotone voice for all of it. I don't think it's an Oscar-worthy performance. The visual effects are great. The vampire's eyes look really good, and they do a great job of the effects tracking with their eyes and making it consistent for all the vampires. And it looks realistic when they're burning from the sun. But what really stands out is when Smoke and Stack are in the same scene together. It looks like they're two different people standing next to each other, and not two versions of Michael B. Jordan edited into a scene, except for the shadows in the beginning. The scene of them passing the cigarette back and forth is very impressive with how real it looks, especially how complicated it was to create such a simple scene. If you really want to push this to be an Oscar-worthy film, it gets enough other nominations to be worthy of a Best Picture nomination. But I feel like it should have only got 8, maybe 9 of its nominations. It isn't deserving of breaking the record with 16, and it definitely is not the best movie ever made. And if it breaks the record for most wins by a movie, I swear I will update this video to reflect that and re-upload it.
If you want to see an uncensored version of this video, or any of my other videos, check out my Patreon. If not, I appreciate you watching my video here too. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.